It's checkmate. Yep. China just checkmated us and comes to EVs. They don't play that game in China. It's not chess. They have that game called Go that I described here on the program where it's about owning spots on the board and circling your enemy. And you basically win when your opponent says, okay, that's it. I don't want to play anymore. Interesting. It's one of the oldest board games in the world, but it's a strategy game. And as it stands right now, checkmate. China won when it comes to EVs. Sorry, folks. It's over. It's over. Let me get through this again. Biden comes out and he's got his little signing ceremony yesterday, talking about how China is flooding the global markets with artificially low-priced exports. So we're going to put tariffs on. This is what we're doing. We're going to put electric vehicles 100%, aluminum 25%, lithium-ion batteries 25%, critical minerals 25%, solar cells 50%, semiconductors 50%, port cranes 25%, medical syringes 50%. Again, most of these tariffs, quite frankly, have nothing to do with green dreams. They have to do with stupid domestic politics and policy. A lot of these things on the tariff list, it's not defense-related stuff. It's no security risk that's involved with this. The reality is China dominates the global production, solar panels, and a lot of critical minerals and renewables. Chinese gas-powered cars, this is interesting, they're not competitive here in the United States. They're not. And, what's interesting is that there's no tariffs on Chinese gas-powered vehicles. There isn't. So anyway, Xi Jinping, like here in the United States, industrial policy subsidizes certain industries, EVs being one of them. To say that we don't do the exact same thing here in this country is ridiculous because we do. If anybody actually thinks, anybody actually believes that Tesla would be where it is today without government subsidies and regulations and carbon credits and all that other crap, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Tesla, for all intents and purposes, I know Elon Musk is a very, very smart guy, but he was also a smart guy in playing the regulation game, the tariff game, like many other companies do as well. We call that regulatory capture. Anyway, this whole EV thing here in the United States is falling apart and falling apart fast. And again, we told you. Don't believe me. Like I said, go to a dealership. Go to a dealership. I'll tell you the story again. Why not? My wife drives a BMW SUV X5, a few years old. And I was just there. I had to have service on it. Put a lot of miles on these cars, chasing kids all over the place. Anyway, I'm talking with some of the sales people there. I'm going around the showroom. One of the things I've noticed is, the latest BMWs are friggin' ugly. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if they fired all the Italians working at BMW that know something about designing a nice looking car, but neither here nor there. They're ugly as hell. This plastic looking grille and this wide look. I was joking around with one of the salesperson here. I was like, this car looks like, now it's like, remember Saturn? It's like a Saturn and a Lincoln had a baby or something like that. And out popped this ugly looking things that they're putting out at this point in time. Not all of them, but most of them. And, the showroom filled with electric vehicles that they can't move. And, the funny thing is, the guy at salespeople said, yeah, we know. Basically at the looks of the car, everyone's saying the same thing. And he said the designers are catering right now to the Chinese market. And that's the design that they like. That's the look that they like. And again, I found it fascinating in of itself. But anyway, they can't move them here in the United States. We already talked about here on the program Ford losing $130,000 for every EV out there. I'm not sure how much General Motors loses, but from the get-go, when they started rolling out these massive trucks, Hummers, electric Hummers, well over $100,000, and utility vehicles like the Ford F-150. And I'm saying to myself, that doesn't make any sense. Well, if you're going to make an electric vehicle, why don't you make it smaller and more affordable rather than doing this? It's just silliness, quite frankly. But again, it's industrial policy here in the United States. And I guess maybe Ford and GM did the calculation that they make their money on big cars. And they figure, you know what? We'll make another big one and see how that works out. It's not. It's not. Anyway, what's going to happen? So we put all these tariffs on Chinese goods. What are they going to do? They're going to put tariffs on our stuff. It's just that simple. That's going to happen. Again, we can go back to Trump's stupid tariffs. And China all of a sudden starting to put tariffs on agricultural products that they bought from the United States. So leading to what? A bailout for farmers again. And Trump on it. I know, but I did more for the farmers than Donald Trump. Yeah, because, you had to cut them a check because your stupid tariff policies were just that stupid. Anyway, and Trump now says he it's going to be, I'll see you. It's going to be like playing poker or something like that. I'll see your 100% tariffs and I'll raise them to 200% tariffs. Trump says he's going to put a 200% tariff on Chinese cars made in Mexico. Why are we trying to beat China by being China? Yeah, last time I checked, we beat countries and we became the nation that we are by going out and competing, going out and being more competitive. You take a look at the policies of the Biden administration here. They made us more competitive, made us less competitive. Energy prices cost more. It was one of the reasons why we had a lot of European car manufacturers deciding to set up shop here in the United States, is that our energy was that much cheaper. Isn't that way any longer. Listening to some YouTuber and no longer exporting liquefied natural gas. Why don't we use our strengths to our advantage? Why are we trying to be like China with industrial policy? Holman Jenkins today in the Wall Street Journal came close to what we've been saying for some time. Just the utter stupidity of Biden's policies. Again, they're telling us, and quite frankly, for lack of a better phrase, bullshit. Okay. The whole EV concept is bullshit. It's all about catering to favored interests. Let's call it what it is, for crying out loud. Yeah, the goal is to get all Americans driving EVs. If that is your goal, if that is your priority, why would you raise the cost to consumers? I've used my little life preserver analogy, but again, that is another way of putting it. If that is your goal, you're saving the planet, putting everybody in EVs. Wouldn't you want those EVs to be as low cost as possible to get as many people in them as you possibly can? Again, it's just moronic. Now let's get to checkmate. Okay. China doesn't care. In the grand scheme, they don't care. You don't think they see what's going on here in this country in regards to EVs? They don't give a damn. Okay. They make a couple cars here that, quite frankly, they would sell. They would, simply based upon the price. Okay. BYD. And again, I go take a look. Go take a look at the car company, BYD. You can take a look at some of the cars they produce on YouTube. You can see, through the car. I don't know, quite frankly, how safe these cars are. I don't know compared to the ones here in the United States. And again, I am skeptical of their quality. Again, I don't want to say anything, but once bit, twice shy when it comes to products coming out of China. It is what it is. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. But they make a car, compact model BYD. It gets about 200 miles on a single charge for the equivalent of $10,000, less than $10,000 to get that car. Less than $10,000 to get that car. I think that is a car that is going to sell around the globe. I do. You think that many countries around the globe can afford American cars? I think that's going to do quite well. They've got a higher end version. It's called the Seal Sedan. It gets 340 miles to the charge. That's the range. And that starts around $25,000. What's a Tesla Model 3? $43,000. That's checkmate. And the funny thing is that countries around the globe, they're not doing what we're doing. They're actually kind of embracing it. France, Spain, thinking about opening up factories in their country to make this car. They're also opening new factories. BYD is opening factories in Brazil, Hungary, Thailand, Uzbekistan, and again, they're considering putting one in Mexico. So, I thought about this for a second. So they open up a BYD factory in Mexico. They start selling them in Mexico. And if you bring them here to the United States, Trump says 200% tariff. What happens if you go down to Mexico and you buy it there? Can you drive it over the border? Or are they going to make that illegal too? Again, some of the European countries are weighing tariffs on this, but it was kind of refreshing to hear. I think it was a guy from Mercedes, if I'm not mistaken, coming out and saying, we don't need tariffs on this thing. We just got to outcompete them. We got to put out a better product. Trump did signal saying that he would welcome a BYD factory here in the United States as long as they employed American workers. And again, that's what Toyota did. That's what BMW's done. That's what Mercedes has done. That's what Volkswagen has done. Once again, it's stupid industrial policy that is wreaking havoc. And again, this is not efficient. It's not efficient. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All of these things are causing our problems today when it comes to the economy. And I'll save that for another podcast. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.